Stop scrolling. Listen carefully. This is not an accident. You did not click on this video by chance. You were led here. And what you are about to hear may be the confirmation you have been praying for, because heaven is saying, your breakthrough is closer than you think. But there is something you must understand. The enemy knows what God is about to release into your life. That is why the attacks became stronger. That is why the loneliness became heavier. That is why the betrayal cut deeper than ever before. And that is why you almost gave up. Hear this clearly. If you are listening to these words right now, you are standing at the edge of a divine transition. A moment that was written before you were born. A moment heaven prepared long before your pain ever arrived. God is saying, do not leave now, do not turn away now, do not quit now, because the breakthrough you prayed for, the answer you cried for, the door you waited for, is already moving. Something is shifting, something is breaking, something is happening in the spiritual realm. And the next few moments may reveal exactly why your journey had to be so difficult. Stay until the end, because this message is for the chosen ones, the ones who have cried in secret, the ones who have fought battles nobody knows about, the ones who felt forgotten, the ones who wondered if God still saw them. He sees you, he always did. And today, heaven has something to say. Chosen one, there is a reason your life has never looked like everyone else's. There is a reason you never fully fit in. There is a reason people misunderstood you. There is a reason doors closed. There is a reason relationships ended. There is a reason certain people walked away. And it was not because you were cursed. It was because you were being prepared. Listen carefully. God often hides his greatest warriors before he reveals them. Before elevation comes isolation. Before promotion comes preparation. Before the crown comes the wilderness. The world saw your silence, but heaven saw your training. The world saw rejection, but heaven saw protection. The world saw delay, but heaven saw preparation. You thought you were losing people. God was removing distractions. You thought you were being abandoned. God was creating space. You thought everything was falling apart. God was putting everything together. Hear this clearly. Some people could not go where God is taking you. They were assigned to a season, not your destiny. That heartbreak was painful. That betrayal was painful. That disappointment was painful. But it was necessary, because God loves you too much to allow the wrong people access to your next level. Think about it. How many times did God save you from something you later realized would have destroyed you? How many times did a closed door become a blessing? How many times did a delay become protection? The chosen ones understand this, not immediately, but eventually. Because God works behind the scenes. While you were crying, God was working. While you were waiting, God was working. While you were questioning, God was working. While you were struggling to understand, God was working. And even now, God is working. The enemy wanted your suffering to convince you that God abandoned you. But suffering was never proof of abandonment. Sometimes suffering is proof of preparation. Look at your journey. Look at the battles you survived. Look at the nights you thought you wouldn't make it through. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing, still moving forward. That is not weakness. That is evidence. Evidence that God has been carrying you. Chosen one. The enemy attacked you because of what you carry, your purpose, your calling, your assignment, your destiny. The darkness never attacks what is empty. It attacks what is valuable. That is why your life has felt like a battlefield. That is why your spirit has felt pressure. That is why the attacks came in waves, because there is something inside you that heaven intends to use, something powerful, something important, something the enemy fears. Listen carefully. The attacks were not random. The delays were not random. The confusion was not random. The resistance was not random. The spiritual warfare intensified because your breakthrough approached. The closer you get to your assignment, the louder the opposition becomes. The closer you get to your purpose, the stronger the resistance becomes. But hear this clearly. Resistance is often confirmation. The enemy does not fight people who are standing still. He fights people who are moving toward destiny. And you are moving toward destiny. Even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it, even when nothing seems to be changing, God is saying, I have not forgotten you. I have not abandoned you. I have not overlooked your tears. Every prayer was heard. Every cry was recorded. Every lonely night was seen. Every silent battle mattered. The people around you may not understand your struggle, but God understands. The people around you may not recognize your calling, but heaven recognizes it. The people around you may underestimate you, but God knows exactly who you are. Chosen one, you have survived too much to quit now. You have come too far to turn back now. You have endured too much to surrender now. Because what is coming is greater than what was lost. What is coming is greater than the betrayal. What is coming is greater than the disappointment. What is coming is greater than the pain. God is transforming your wounds into wisdom, your tears into strength, your scars into testimony, your suffering into preparation. And very soon, what once looked like destruction will reveal itself as divine direction. Very soon, you will understand why certain people disappeared. Very soon, you will understand why certain doors closed. Very soon, you will understand why God allowed the season of isolation, because the isolation was not punishment. It was preparation. And heaven is saying, your preparation season is almost complete. Listen carefully. Many chosen ones make a dangerous mistake. They quit in the final moments. They walk away when the breakthrough is nearest. They surrender when victory is already approaching. Do not make that mistake. Hear this clearly. Something unusual happens before major transformation. Everything feels uncertain. Everything feels uncomfortable. Everything feels unstable. The old life begins to fall apart, but the new life has not fully appeared. And in that space, many people panic, but chosen one. This is where faith becomes powerful, because faith is believing when you cannot see. Faith is trusting when you cannot understand. Faith is standing when everything tells you to run. God is saying, you are closer than you realize. The pressure increased because breakthrough is near. The attacks increased because breakthrough is near. The warfare increased because breakthrough is near. The confusion increased because breakthrough is near. The enemy always wants to stop people right before their miracle. That is why discouragement arrives. That is why fear whispers. That is why doubt appears. But listen carefully. Fear is not your future. Doubt is not your future. Failure is not your future. God's promise is your future. Your breakthrough is not a possibility. It is an appointment scheduled by heaven. An appointment that can't be cancelled by people, cannot be cancelled by betrayal, cannot be cancelled by rejection, cannot be cancelled by delay, cannot be cancelled by darkness, because what God has spoken over your life still stands. Hear this clearly. God is removing masks. God is exposing deception. God is separating truth from lies. You may have noticed people changing recently. You may have noticed hidden intentions becoming visible. You may have noticed relationships shifting. That is not an accident. God is cleaning the path before your elevation. Not everyone can enter the next chapter. Not everyone can handle the person you are becoming. Not everyone can travel where God is leading you. And that is okay, because destiny often requires separation. Chosen one, stop grieving every person who left. Some exits are divine, some endings are protection, some goodbyes are answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. God sees what you cannot see. He knows what you do not know. He understands what remains hidden. Trust him, even now, especially now, because signs are appearing. Small signs, quiet signs, subtle signs. Moments of confirmation, moments of peace, moments of unexpected hope, moments that remind you God is still near. Pay attention, because heaven speaks, not always through thunder. Sometimes through whispers, sometimes through timing, sometimes through unexpected encounters, sometimes through a message exactly like this. God is saying, wake up, pay attention, prepare yourself. Because the season is changing, the chapter is changing, the atmosphere is changing, and you are changing. The version of you that entered the storm is not the version that will leave it. You are stronger now, wiser now, more discerning now, more spiritually aware now. The pain changed you, but it did not destroy you. The betrayal changed you, but it did not destroy you. The loneliness changed you, but it did not destroy you, because God was building something inside you. Something unshakable, something powerful, something eternal. Listen carefully. Your story is not ending in defeat. Your story is not ending in disappointment. Your story is not ending in darkness. Your story is moving toward purpose, toward calling, toward destiny, toward victory. And one day, the same people who doubted you will wonder how you made it. The same people who ignored you will see God's hand on your life. The same people who misunderstood you will witness the transformation, not because of your strength, but because of God's faithfulness, because God never wastes pain, never wastes tears, never wastes waiting, never wastes suffering. Everything is being used, everything, even this season, especially this season. And heaven is saying, the countdown has already begun. The door is opening, the chains are breaking, the answers are moving, the breakthrough is coming. Stay faithful, stay focused, stay prayerful, stay ready, because your season is changing. Chosen one, if this message touched your spirit, do not ignore it, taste it, believe it, walk in it. The battle was real, but so is the victory. The pain was real, but so is the breakthrough. The tears were real, but so is God's promise. Hear this clearly one final time. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. God has been preparing you, strengthening you, protecting you, positioning you, and what He started, He will finish. So hold on, trust Him. Keep believing, keep praying, keep moving forward. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. If you believe this message was meant for you, comment. Chosen, declare it boldly. Strengthen your faith, trust God's timing. And if you want more messages that awaken your spirit, encourage your faith, and remind you of your purpose, subscribe and join this growing community of chosen ones. Until next time, stay faithful, stay watchful, stay connected to God, and remember, your breakthrough is not behind you. It is right in front of you. This message is not here by accident. Out of all the videos you could have watched today, Somehow you ended up here. That is not coincidence. That is not luck. God has a way of reaching his people at the exact moment they need confirmation. And today, heaven is saying something urgent. Your breakthrough is closer than it appears. Closer than the enemy wants you to believe. Closer than your circumstances are showing you. But there is a reason the battle has become so intense. There is a reason your heart has been carrying a weight you cannot explain. There is a reason you have felt different from everyone around you. Chosen one. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were never meant to live an ordinary life. God placed something unique inside of you. Something rare, something powerful. Something that cannot be copied. And because of that, your journey has been different. People misunderstood you. Friends walked away. Doors closed without explanation. You loved people who never loved you back the same way. You gave your loyalty and received betrayal. You gave your heart and received disappointment. And there were nights when you asked God why. Why the pain? Why the loneliness? Why the waiting? Why the silence? But hear this clearly. The silence was never abandonment. God was working in places you could not see. While you were crying, he was preparing. While you were waiting, he was arranging. While you were struggling, he was building. The enemy wanted you to think the story was over. But God was still writing the next chapter. And what comes next will make sense of everything that came before. Because breakthrough often arrives disguised as pressure. The closer you get to God's promise, the harder the resistance becomes. The closer you get to victory, the louder fear becomes. But fear is not your future. God's promise is your future. And heaven is saying, hold on a little longer. You are closer than you think. Listen carefully. There is something many chosen ones do not understand until much later. The isolation was part of the assignment. The loneliness was part of the preparation. The separation was part of the process. God had to pull you away from certain people so he could speak to you without distraction. He had to remove certain relationships because they were connected to your past, not your future. He had to allow certain disappointments because those disappointments were redirecting you toward your destiny. You thought you were losing, but you were actually being positioned. You thought doors were shutting against you, but God was shutting the wrong doors so the right one could open. Hear this clearly. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Some people leave because their purpose is complete. Some people leave because they cannot go where God is taking you. Some people leave because they were assigned to a season.